Wednesday before Thanksgiving, right after work. So today I had the toughest time calming myself after some instances. And I'm not even mad at my immediate management. The whole squad of managers that I had today, they were great. And I am especially proud that I can say, as difficult as it is to get a compliment from me, and as difficult as it is to impress me, and all that, coming from me, I can say that I had a great pleasure working with the manager I was working with today, despite her being new to her role still. But I liked that she maintained her demeanor, her same positive attitude. And I told her, I said, I'm so grateful that I'm going through this with someone like you in management, because I have had managers in the past that definitely do not remain well composed, and I suffer the consequences from that by being talked to in a way that's disrespectful. And I cannot say that about her at all. I would be lying if I said that at any point she made me feel disrespected. And even more to her credit, there were times in which I genuinely could not hear her very well. I could not understand what she was saying because there was a lot of noise, the stupid phone ringing, and on top of that, the noise in my mind about all of the things that are pending and developing issues and things like that. And I had to ask her like 3 times. I was anticipating to get yelled at or being called a dumbass or something, because I had to ask her to repeat herself, and she just very kindly and gently just said, "Oh, what I'm trying to say is that this needs attention." Oh, I am so sorry. I don't know why. I just cannot hear very well at the moment. And then she said that she completely understood, for she felt the same. That is the kind of collaboration that I love. I don't care how miserable my day is, how rough it gets, as long as I'm paired up with someone who can either match my energy or even amp me up and be supportive and take well to what I say in the same manner that I take well what they say, then I'm fine. I can do this. I can get through this. No issues whatsoever. Now, the most challenging part became when we were receiving instructions from another place that has nothing to do with our immediate department. It didn't seem like that individual was accepting, I guess, what the atmosphere was in our department. Like, we're all going through something, it's all chaotic. We all have our unique set of circumstances and challenges, even if at the core the situation is the same. Say, it's a holiday, we are overwhelmed. Everybody shares that. But what kind of overwhelming feeling you experience may differ because of the skill set that you're projecting. For me, as customer service, everybody is going to want to come over to me as the information center. Now, in the kitchen, they're going to have expectations about how something turns out. When it comes to the other departments, like where the vegetables are at and where the meat is at and the seafood is at and all other dried goods and dairy stuff is at, they're going to have their own pressures as well, because some of them may have shelves that the more they restock, they just keep getting wiped out. There's people in front of their faces that need immediate attention, whereas other things need to be addressed as well. All those little things. I get it. I'm there. I share it similarly. But I hate it that I'm trying to share the information of what is needed, but then I get told that I need to stop referring more tasks onto other departments. And I'm like, well, if I don't know the answer to a question, if I don't have the tools to resolve something, what else do you want me to do? What else do you expect? When communication arrives in that form, that's when I get upset, because I feel insulted. I feel like what I'm doing, which is fucking full of effort, is not enough. And I resent that. That's the closest thing to me being offended that you can do to me. But in general, people were just tripping because, again, why would you leave the purchase of your materials for the very last minute? People were still looking for fresh turkeys, which fortunately we still had some, but I think frozen is your best bet. But I get it. Nobody wants to do the work about safely thawing it, since you gotta consider how much it weighs and how many hours you gotta leave it in the refrigerator or something. Whatever the procedure is for you to safely thaw a thing like that, I don't care. I'm never gonna make one. Those are the kinds of things. What are you doing on your end to make this a smooth experience for you? And when you work customer service, you're the face that people see, you're the one that people talk to, and the only power I have is to address them to the authorities that can do something about that. But I was being told that I need to take charge of some of those situations. What can I offer? What can I do? I don't have the authority to make certain calls. Because if it were up to me, I'm like, okay, you get nothing, period. Or in some cases, depending on what kind of fuck up it is, it's like, you know what? This is going to be on us this time around because shit happens. Would you really want to trust my judgment? See what I mean? So I need for my job to accept my individuality. Sure, I may be serving this place, whatever, but if you have entrusted me with this role, then I would expect that whatever decisions I make, let me make them and then get with me and tell me how that could have been done better. But sometimes I feel like all I get is continuous punishment. A lot of the time, it's not even said to my face. I have to find out through secondary sources. How is that supposed to help with a bond? I try to not let that upset me, but in a day like today, another thing that made it super difficult is, you guys know that I hate noise and I hate crowds. Well, it's evident that this job is no longer good for me. I am no longer fit for this job, but guess what? I have to eat. And this is all that I can expect to be able to count on for a long time. And to me, that's not a burden. I'm just saying that things don't have to be this way. It doesn't have to turn into a zoo. It doesn't have to be a mess. People just need to calm down, have their materials ready, follow the rules, and be organized. That's it. That's all I'm asking. All I need to be comfortable at my job is for people to function properly. And the way you function properly is you bring your materials and accept when something is your fault. You don't have to call yourself out on it. I'm never going to tell you something is your fault, even if it's blatantly obvious that it is. But don't try to make something my fault when it's clearly on your end that the flaw began. Today, it was just, we were overwhelmed. We definitely could have used a few extra bodies. And it also doesn't help that the team, sure, we had like maybe a couple of vets, but it's not a specialized team anymore. There are folks who do well in some areas, but there are folks who are going to need your help more than usual. And this is just a difficult season because we are in a season in which the squad that I know now has only been around for only a few months. And most people nowadays haven't even been there for over a year. It's more often new people that we're with, whereas someone like me, I'm specialized. And another thing that pissed me off is that because I have been there for a while, the expectation on me is a little more unfair. Because, oh, well, since you've been here for a long time, then you should know this, you should be able to do that. And especially customers too, they just assume that you have all the answers. And they will walk by a ton of my colleagues who would have been perfectly capable of assisting, but instead, like that video that I shared the other day about stop chasing me. I just feel that because of my vet status, I'm chased. And I'm like, I'm not the only person qualified to do things around here. You gotta give other people a try too. It took me a long time to calm down from my lunch. I couldn't even enjoy it much and I was legit shaking. And even one manager from another department who has known me for this entire time, because she's been there for about 2 years longer than I have. And she was like, I can hear in your voice that you're not having a good day. And I'm like, I get it. Most of us are not having a good day. This is rough, this is difficult, and we try to prepare for it. But I'm just saying that when the moment is here, sometimes I feel like what we were preparing for just didn't happen. It just didn't work. It just didn't pan out the way we planned. And then coping with that becomes the difficult part. Just shared with this person, and my favorite part is that this person said, well, who else has heard that their entire holidays have been ruined by just you? And then she said that that happened to her twice so far, and another guy said that someone said that to him once from another department. And that's another thing, the level of importance that people give to stupid things. I get it. This is relatively important for you because you're spending a few $100 that maybe you could get away with not spending. But just because we did not have some fucking dinner rolls that some person was looking for, you just ruined my entire holiday. Never mind the fact that you have your pie, that you still have your turkey, that you still have your other fucking sides that are associated with this dinner. You have all of that, but no, just because the little ass bread, the easiest thing in the world, that is easily replaceable, easily substituted, you didn't have that your entire holiday. Never mind that you're having people coming over, or never mind that maybe you're getting to travel, you're getting to get out. All of that, you are valuing this little ass bread and claiming that because of this little ass bread, your holiday is ruined. I know what you're doing. You're trying to get something out of us. Just don't. Behave well. If you behave well, you would be surprised by the way we hook you clowns up whenever we fall short on something. But you don't give us the opportunity to get there. You just want to bully us into submission. And when you do that, we aren't trying to do that because that's not right. We shouldn't enable that kind of behavior. But unfortunately, most of the time we end up doing it. That's why I'm saying, to me, Thanksgiving is always going to be a sacred cow that for some reason we refuse to criticize it completely. And the reason being because we want to defend the fact that for those of you who are professionals, us peasants have to serve you because it's your time off. Therefore, you want to throw a party. And us peasants have to serve you. And see what I mean? It doesn't make sense to me. I should be able to criticize the way that your behavior just changes entirely. And your functionality as a person is just out the window. So nobody will convince me that this season is a healthy season. And maybe that's why I suffer from negative feelings during the season. It affects the people around me. Heaven forbid if the people around me are dealing with something unrelated to this that's adding to their stress, but also everybody is in this together. The streets suck, parking lots suck, being inside of buildings sucks. Everywhere. Stress. Replace the word Thanksgiving with stress giving. That would be more accurate. Well, there you guys have it. Thank you so much for tuning in. My intention with this is to simply share how my day went at work and how I overall feel and cope or don't cope with this. Had I not gotten to vent to this particular manager from another department, I think I wouldn't have been able to recover quite as easy because it was a combination of things just not going well, but it's not really anybody who works with me at fault. It's just the way things are. And the fact that the culture, the nature of the season does not aid the situation. And even on normal days, normal circumstances, no holidays involved, y'all suck, then throw an additional expectation of people spending a little extra money into the mix. That really makes it suck. All right, that's it from me. I'll see you guys soon.